The second episode of our Walk and Talk series was supposed to be very, very different. Had an idea for filming it while I was away in Bergamo, but the gods did not smile upon us. On the day that I had originally planned to do it, which was a Sunday, it was actually Mother's Day in Bergamo, in Italy, which meant that everywhere that I was planning to film was absolutely rammed with people. Wasn't possible. Not a problem, I thought. I'll film it on the Monday instead. Monday rolls around and it rained. Not a lot, but enough to make it impossible to film. So I've decided instead to film it here in the UK and refer back to Bergamo and Italy. So the original idea while I was in Bergamo was I'm going to take a walk to tell you a story. And the story was actually inspired, at least in part, by Bergamo itself. In fact, it was inspired by one very specific part of Bergamo. This is the Duomo di Bergamo. For the uninitiated, that's the Bergamo Cathedral. The cathedral was actually built in the 15th century. In the 6 centuries since it was built, the Duomo has been ransacked, partially demolished, invaded, extended, and partially rebuilt. But the cathedral has survived, and it survived for several very good reasons. Firstly, it was built from stone, torn from the ground in the local area. And it was built using timber from the local forests as well. And just as importantly, it was built by master craftsmen. Master craftsmen like stonemasons, carpenters that had learned their trade from other master craftsmen, who in turn had learned their trade from other master craftsmen. With relatively simple materials, those craftsmen created something beautiful, ornate, and permanent. Now, compare that to the buildings being erected in London, Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, and other cities around the world today. Now, I know what you're thinking. Those buildings being erected in London and the other major cities around the UK, around the world, are not being built to last for centuries. In fact, up until fairly recently, some commercial buildings in London were expected to last not much more than 25, 30, maybe even 40 years. After that, we just accepted that they would be torn down, replaced by something more suitable or more appropriate for its surroundings or for the modern environment. However, thanks to concerns over embodied carbon and sustainability, the life of those buildings is now expected to be longer. We're looking for buildings to be refurbished instead of demolished, retrofitted instead of removed. I fully understand. Despite my love of all things demolition, I do fully appreciate the need to safeguard the environment and the planet. But here's the thing. While the Duomo di Bergamo was built using the very best materials available at the time, modern buildings are built to a budget. They're built using materials that have not been proven over millennia. Moreover, the Duomo was built by craftsmen, master craftsmen, with names like Donatello, Raffaello, Michelangelo. They'd been hand-picked because of their experience and their skill and their expertise. Modern buildings, meanwhile, are built by Wayne, Shane and Dwayne, who have never had their skills properly evaluated or tested, but have a little bit of plastic that suggests otherwise. And here's the thing. The real telltale here is the Duomo di Bergamo has stood for something like 600 years. Unless we were invaded by aliens, or there is a zombie apocalypse, the chances are it will stand for another 600 years. For all our good intentions, for all our modern materials, for all our modern forms of training and construction regulation, I'm not sure that anything being built in London today, or anywhere else in the UK for that matter, is going to be around for quite so long.